Hello, everyone. Today I'm doing a review of a journal paper. The title of the journal article is Using Degrading Endophytic Bacteria to Detoxify the Phthalic Acid Esters in Crops from Contaminated Soil. So, this work was published in 2024, and the name of the journal where it was published is a Journal of Environmental Sciences. And the author's name are listed and their address are also mentioned. The highlights of the work are listed in the work, and one of them is that most of the PAEs, degrading endophytic bacteria, belong to the genus Bacillus. Another highlight stated that endophytic bacteria enhance the degradation of PAEs in soil crop systems. Molecular mechanisms of PAE degradation require further investigation. That is the findings from this work. Now, these workers are based in China, while some others are based in Poland. These workers also are based in the Institute of Organic Contaminant Control and Soil Remediation. Another is based in the College of Land Management. Another is in the Department of Radiochemistry and Environmental Chemistry. So they have an abstract of the work which summarizes the whole work. Now, looking at the introduction, it talk about plasticizers and is used in pollution control. You may be wondering what plasticizers are. Plasticizers are chemicals that are added to materials to make them more flexible, softer, and less viscous. So they spoke about plasticizers. They went on to talk about what happens in the past decade, where the deployment of functional endophytic bacteria to reduce the risk of organic pollution in crops have been proposed. Then this aspect also dwells on endophytic bacteria. After that, they talk about interaction between endophytic bacteria and the PAEs, and they say it illustrates the adaptive evolutionary strategies of bacteria in pollutant stressed environments. They went on to talk about more about endophytic bacteria by stating the fact that it has demonstrated immense potential for bioremediation, their suitability, their stability and efficiency in complex environments, they wrote, has remained a challenge. So they have looked at the PAEs, contamination in soil crop ecosystem, and the occurrence of PAEs in agricultural soil are other things that they talk about. The misuse of agricultural chemical, they stated, enhances crop to enhance crop yield is another significant source of PAEs in the soil. I also have made some comments about this in a particular conference organized by NICEP, that is Society for Experimental Biology of Nigeria, where one of the plenary speakers spoke about the use of chemicals which are environmentally friendly, that's organic fertilizer, organic herbicides. After his presentation, the question comes that these organic herbicides are very, very expensive. The cheaper alternative are not as expensive. That means the not the alternative now, the opposite of the environmentally friendly one, the organic one, are the inorganic herbicides. These inorganic herbicides or even inorganic pesticides, they are expensive, but they can damage the environment. They damage the environment, but they are expensive. Now the cheap ones are they damage the environment, but they are cheaper. I beg your pardon. The inorganic fertilizer or inorganic chemicals, they cause damage to the environment, but they are cheaper. The ones that is friendly to the environment is expensive. So which one will the farmers go for? Scientists and the government are advocating for the use of the organic herbicides, but these organic herbicides are expensive. So people tend to go for the inexpensive inorganic herbicides. So this worker spoke about the fact that extensive research has explored the levels of PAEs in agricultural soil, the types and concentration of PAEs varies according to them. Now, they also spoke about occurrence of PAEs in crops. They said that PAEs exhibit strong bioaccumulative properties. That means they are accumulated by the crops, by the plants, that is the PAEs. And I think that is why they are trying to use the endophytes, these endophytes, for the biodegradation. Crop leaves have a stronger bioaccumulation capability than other tissues, enabling them to absorb more PAEs. PAEs absorbed by roots from the soil are mostly distributed in the form of mostly distributed in the root cell walls and cannot readily transfer to other plant parts. Now they now settle with the degradation of endophytic bacteria and the detoxification of PAEs in the soil. And this worker stated that the natural environment relies primarily on microbial degradation to transform and diminish PAEs. So PAEs are rampant in the environment and they are pollutants. So microorganisms in the process of bioremediation or biodegradation are what are being proposed to be the solution to this environmental menace. Now, these workers also stated in their literature review that to date, most associated PAEs degrading endophytic bacteria belong to the genus Bacillus megatherium, associated from the Cana indica. So when it comes to biodegradation, Bacillus is well known, Pseudomonas is well known, and many other such organisms are being implicated as good degraders. So these workers say that their both findings show that endophytic bacteria have a significant potential for removing PAEs pollutants in crops. To enhance the understanding of the readers of these pollution mitigation resources, these workers advocated that further investigation into the degradation of PAEs by endophytic bacteria in soil crop systems is needed. So this is like the justification for this work that they have done. They went on to talk about the colonization of crops in endophytic bacteria. So crops are being colonized by this endophytic. Then, apart from being colonized, they also work on the identification of roots, exudates, and progression towards the roots. So when the fictive bacteria locate and move towards roots by sensing the responding to chemical signals present in root exudates. So there are chemicals in root exudates which attract the microbes to the area of the root, also referred to as the rhizosphere region or the rhizosphere. So these workers want to talk about the attachment to the root surface and establishment of a biofilm. So these endophytic bacteria or bacteria that are around the root, they attach to the root surface and they establish to form a biofilm. Biofilm is aggregation of different bacterial cells, different microorganisms. So they aggregate. Normally, such microorganisms will not be found somewhere, but because of the biofilm, they add up to the formation of the biofilm. So another method by which this bacteria works, this endophytic bacteria works, is the infiltration of the root surface. Endophytic bacteria penetrates the root surface by interacting closely with the root cells, and they do many other things to get in touch with the root. So now also colonize the crop interior, the interior of the crop. So apart from just the external part, these endophytes also found inside of the plant, and that is where they actually work most. These workers spoke about the mechanism of plant growth promotion by endophytic bacteria, and some of the mechanisms they mentioned are symbiotic interaction between plants and endophytic bacteria, and they said that the plant provides bacteria with nutrients and a habitat, whereas endophytic bacteria enhance and crop growth and health through various mechanisms such as plant hormone reduction and regulation, nutrient provisioning, and many more. These workers also went on to talk about the use of endophytic bacteria to detoxify PAEs in crops. So, when using endophytic bacteria to develop PAE in crops, like I used to say, these PhD or MSc, the report or whatever you do is a form of you are telling a story. So this is a story of how endophytes are used in biodegradation. So endophytic bacteria degrade PAEs through various complex mechanisms, including their synergy with bacteria communities within the plant and many more. Then the workers came up to conclude the work and to acknowledge those that they ought to acknowledge. So, in concluding the work, this worker stated that, in summary, PAEs degrading endophytic bacteria represents a sustainable and environmentally friendly bioremediation agent that can help anyone to restore health and environmental safety in PAE contaminated soil. So they also state the way forward as regard to future research. So these organisms, from what I've seen, have the power to break down PAEs and to make it to become simpler molecules. So we can explore this plant for its use in biodegradation and in bioremediation. Now, at the end of the paper, after the references, these workers came up to talk about the materials they have used. So in table one, we have the long list of the occurrence of PAEs in agricultural soil. So there's country and region, the main PAE, detected concentration, and then the reference. So in the countries and region, we have China. We continue with China, and then we came up to Spain, Argentina, and other European countries, comparing these three parameters or four parameters for growth. So one of the parameters is the country, the main PAEs, the detected concentration, and then they also listed the reference in that. Now, the second table from this work, which is this comes after the reference, it shows the occurrence of PAEs in crops. So PAEs are also in crops, and then they have their uses in the crop, and now they want to use for hydrocarbon degradation. Now, the third table is talking about endophytic bacteria with PAEs degradation function. So in this case, you have the PAE, which is DBT, and then we have the crops, the representative strains of DBT, or the plant, or the DBT, or the microbe, or the bacterium. Then we have the concentration, removal percentage, and the references are also shown. After this, we went on to look at another table, this time a figure, which is schematic illustration of the multifaceted pathways of phthalic acid, esters, systems. So that is the schematic diagram. And then after that, we come to figure 2. And figure 2 is talking about the endophytic bacteria colonization and PAEs detection. PGP are plant growth promoting rhizobacteria. So these are some of the examples of how PAEs are being used. Then the figure 4 is showing the graphical abstract. That means everything we're talking about in this work, this is the graphical aspect at the towards the end of the paper. So after this, we look at the declaration of interest. The authors declare that they have no stone unturned in letting the paper to go. So that is all about this paper, and that is all we're going to do for now. So if you have any question or comments regarding this paper, you can drop it in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to come around to respond. Have a good one. Bye-bye.